Hello and welcome back to my channel, Cards by Melissa Minor. Today I'm going to be making a one-page scrapbook layout, and these are the pictures that I want to scrapbook today. These are of my daughter Tatum, and these were taken just a couple weeks ago to signify the beginning of summer. The one on the left here is a 3x5, and then the one on the right is a 3x4. I did print them with a little bit of a white border as well. So let me bring in the paper that I want to scrapbook. I love this paper. This is from American Crafts, and this is the April and Ivy collection. This is the 12x12, and I just think it's gorgeous. And then I like to store it here in these 13x13 storage envelopes from scrapbook.com. They come in pink or clear. I love pink, so I had to get the pink. But it's really nice and sturdy, so it's great to keep the collection in. And then let me bring in a piece of white cardstock. Now I am working on this self-healing double-sided workspace mat. It's the 24x18 size, and I'm going to put down a couple of these removable glue dots. So this green sheet here, this is the piece that I have picked out of the paper pack here. And this page is called Petal Parade from the collection. So I wanted to go a little something like this across the top, and I will end up trimming this down. I think I have it here like a 12 by maybe 6, and I want to end up trimming this down to about 12 by 5 3/4. And then I'm going to bring in some sheets of cardstock. These are from Close to My Heart. I've got here some rosy, some pumpkin, and this is Lagoon, and some limeade. So I think these colors of cardstock match nicely with this paper. So I want to put a strip of pumpkin across here, and then this rosy, and then the Lagoon, and then the limeade. So I want to kind of put them across here at the bottom, kind of like this. And I think, see the pumpkin here and the rosy, and then this Lagoon. I think it just all really coordinates together real well. So I do want to tear these strips. I don't want to just have them all perfect. I do have this Pink and Main water flow brush pen, so I want to bring that in. But first, let me bring in this scrapbook.com non-stick silicone craft mat. Now this is the large size, and since I'm bringing in this water brush, I want to put this mat down. And the reason I'm bringing in the water brush is when I'm doing this tearing, if you bring in a water brush to do your tearing, then it helps you get just a more even tear. Sometimes when I'm tearing, it gets a little crazy. And so if you bring in that water brush, you get more of a straight line. So I have my ruler here, and I'm just marking where it is for this 5 3/4 mark. Because I want to tear a little bit here. So let me squeeze a little bit of water here onto the pattern paper. And I know it's a little bit hard to see here probably in the video, but I am putting a little bit of water down. And that's just so when I tear it again, it will be easier to tear, and it won't tear past where I'm putting this water. It's kind of like a stop sign, you know, it just stops from tearing. So let me pull this back, and I'm going to pull it towards me, so then I'll have that white showing. So let me get this and see how it's just stopping at where that water line is. And I want it to kind of look organic, not perfect, but yet it still is only tearing up to that water line. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. And now that I have that, I just want to go along here with my fingernail and just kind of pull while it's still wet, just kind of rough these edges up a little bit and kind of pull them up towards me so that they're not perfect here, just kind of to give them that distressed look. Okay, so I've got this first piece of paper that looks pretty good. All right. So let me bring in this first piece of cardstock here. This looks pretty good. Yeah, I like that. All right. So I'm going to bring in the pumpkin cardstock. Let me pull that out here. And see, these are strips, And so a lot of times when you have a strip of paper, it's hard to tear, but when you use this water brush, it really makes it a lot easier that you can have a thinner strip of paper and tear it when you use the water brush method. So now you can see it a little bit better on camera, I believe, on this piece of cardstock since it's solid. And I'll do this one on camera, and then the rest of them I'll do off camera. So I'm putting quite a bit of water down, and then I'm going to tear this one towards me. And with this being the close to my heart cardstock, it is two-toned. I'm using the lighter shade, and then it does have that white core. I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of close to my heart cardstock. I just love their cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to rough the edges up on this one to give it that distressed look. And let me bring my paper back here. And yeah, I think that's going to look really good. All right, so I'll do the rest off camera. All right, so I have those done, and I think those look really nice. So I have the pumpkin, the rosy, the lagoon, and the limeade. And let me just go ahead and bring my pictures back and see where I kind of want them for placement to make sure I've got these strips about where I want them. And there's a little bit of a shadow on this left photo, this larger photo. So I want to kind of cover that up with this smaller photo. And I think I can do that here by overlapping these photos. Okay, so yeah, I think that's going to work. That looks pretty good. All right, so let me grab my tape runner. And the tape runner I'm using, I love this one. This is from scrapbook.com, and this is the dotted refillable adhesive roller. And I'm really picky about my tape runners, and this one rolls very nicely. It is refillable. So I'm just putting adhesive along the top edges because I want to be able to tuck the other layers up underneath there. So let me grab this piece of the pumpkin cardstock, and I'm just going to put this adhesive along the top portion. And let me slide this up underneath that first piece of pattern paper. And about like so. That looks good. And let me grab this next one here, the rosy. And again, I'm using the light shades of each of these pieces of cardstock. This April and Ivy collection is a really pretty paper collection. I've used it on several layouts now, and you get a ton, it seems like, in that paper pack. But you can also buy the sheets individually on scrapbook.com. So if you just wanted this Petal Parade piece of paper, you could just buy one sheet of paper if you wanted. So that's really nice too. Okay, so I've got that one, and then let me glue down this last one here on the limeade. So let me get that under here. And this is so simple, but yet so pretty. Yeah, and I love how that white core is just peeking out. Okay. So now that I have that, I am going to want to bring in some embellishments. And so I'm going to bring in these. I absolutely love these. These are the Market Blooms floral dies. And so this is a look at all of the dies that you get. I keep the packaging here with this envelope, and I have them here on a magnetic sheet. And then I keep some extras here in this envelope as well. And you can see here, you get a ton of florals and then all the greenery. Another one of my favorites is the Sunny Lane florals. So I really like both of those, both the Market Blooms floral dies and the Sunny Lane florals. Those are two of my favorites and must have in my craft room. So those are both really good. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those off camera in these same colors, the pumpkin and the rosy lagoon, and then I'll cut all the other ones in the limeade. So here I'm showing you, this is the luster brush in the white from scrapbook.com. And again, I'm using this nonstick silicone craft mat. and I'm squeezing some of the liquid out of this luster brush. So this luster brush, it comes in the white and it also comes in black, and it's not shiny, it's more like a matte finish. And this brush is perfect. I don't know why I squeezed just a little bit out here. I guess I'm trying to use it sparingly. In a minute, I'm going to squeeze. I need to get some more out of here. But I'm going to go ahead and just tap, tap, tap this onto all of these florals that I cut out, because I want to give them just a little treatment. I like putting all of these white just to give them a little bit of treatment here. So this looks really good. There, I squeezed a little bit more out, and the camera's picking it up a little bit better now. And I like putting all this splatter down on these florals. I could have inked them up, but you know what? Inking up each of these flowers takes a lot of time. And so I just find by giving them a little splatter, excuse me, it's just a faster way to give them a treatment and just to really elevate your project. So there we go. About done here. That looks really good. Okay, love these luster brushes. All right, so let me set those aside. And now any of the products that I use today, I will have those linked down below in the description box if you're interested. All right, so let me bring back, now I do need a title. So I have this. This is the Market Bloom's Hello Sunshine dies. And so I've cut this out. Now the cardstock I use to cut this out is from the Floral Smooth cardstock, and I just have the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 paper pad, and it's the first sheet out of that. And it just has that little pink contrast. Now the pink isn't in this, it really isn't in the April and Ivy collection paper, but I just thought it brought in another color. And I actually did cut out some flowers in that as well, just to bring in another color. And so the sunshine cuts out all together, and then the hello, each of the letters cut out separately. So I'm just using my reverse tweezers here to bring in each of those letters. But I love that. So I'm going to use that as a title, and I will glue that down off camera. I won't have you watch me do that. But this is a cute set to use as a title. And I'm using this Artis craft glue. It's a good liquid glue. So there we go. I've got that glued down. And now I want to bring in a subtitle for this page. And I went digging through my stamp collection. I have tons of Close to My Heart stamps, and I've never used this one. This is the Outdoor Borders Stamp of the Month, and I actually cut this. So instead of masking it off, I just wanted this sweet summer day. And so I cut it right here. And I went ahead and stamped that on just some white cardstock, and then I dovetailed the ends. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive down, and I'm going to use this as like a subtitle. So it says, Hello Sunshine, Sweet Summer Day. And this really just, signifies it's the beginning of summer for our 2024 summer. So I love that. So that looks good. So let me move this over just a little bit to tie it more in with the title here. There we go. And now I can start bringing in those florals, and I have them here in this stack and sort trays. And so I will start dry fitting some of these florals. I like to start with the largest floral first and then build my clusters from there. So I'm going to put some of the flowers behind the photo and then some of them on top of the photo. And I want to be careful to put some of each of the colors in each of the clusters. So I want a cluster up top there on the left-hand side. And then I know I want a cluster over here on the right-hand side. So I've got 2 clusters. And then I like to work in 3s. So I need 1 more cluster. So I'm going to build another cluster over here on the left-hand side, more down towards that title. So I'm I'm just kind of arranging some of these florals here just to see which ones I like. I'd like to bring in kind of some different, I'm going to mix and match some of these flowers. Now there are centers to the flowers, so I'll do that off camera, and I'll actually glue these down off camera, but I just kind of want to mix and match some of these So now I've got the floral cluster started. So let me start a floral cluster down here on the left-hand cluster. Now in my pile, you'll see I also have some greenery, and that also came from the Market Blooms Floral Dies. I just love that die set. And I also cut some out with the Journey cardstock. I thought that that gave just another pop of color. I thought the limeade was just kind of getting lost against that background paper. And so I thought by cutting out some of the greenery in the Journey just kind of gave it another pop of color. So I'm going to just arrange this, just a few more flowers here, and then I'll do my final arrangements off camera. And I am going to be popping some of these up with some foam so that it adds some dimension. So here I'm adding some of these pieces of greenery, and then here's another one. Now these are the limeade pieces, but then I'll also add some Journey. So here's one of the Journey pieces, and you see how that just stands out a little better than the other ones. I like that against that background paper a lot better. It just has more contrast. So I'll mess around with this and do more of this arranging off camera, and I'll get this all glued down, and I'll be right back so that you can see the final arrangement of what I came up with. Okay. All right, here we go. Here is the final floral arrangement. I have everything glued down, and you can see here I cut out some of those centers in the pumpkin and then some in the white. And these are the adhesive foam that I use. This is the double-sided adhesive foam shapes in the square, and these are the large 1 millimeter in size. And let me bring this up closer to the camera so you can really appreciate how gorgeous these florals look. I just love this. I'm loving the way this page is turning out. But then when I got this all glued down, I noticed that the bottom, it just kind of got lost. And so I think it needs something to ground it. So I went digging through my craft supplies, and I found this gold shimmer trim from Close to My Heart. And my daughter is wearing a gold necklace, so I kind of thought that this gold would go well with it. So I'm going to cut a piece of this gold shimmer trim and then get this glued down. So there we go. I have the gold shimmer trim glued down, and I also added some gold gems, and I think this turned out nicely. Again, I do have product links down below in the description box, and thanks so much for shopping my links, as that really does help support me and my YouTube channel. If you've enjoyed this video, I invite you to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe and come back to watch more videos. Liking, sharing, commenting, that all helps me here on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.